He'd already filed for divorce. They're still living together. They have minor children, house, the whole package. And he had filed and had her served, and a couple of weeks have gone by and nothing's transpired. He wants to move the case forward, but wife is not engaging with him in the process. Every time he tries to bring it up, she tries to bring up how they should, go to counseling and get, try and work on the marriage. She does not want the divorce. This happens quite a bit. And the first thing I want to say on this, and I do, then I have 5 tips or 5 topics specifically I want to talk about. But I want to go over, like in my experience, what's happened when we've taken on cases where this has been the scenario. Is first off, I say, you know what, if she doesn't want to get the divorce, that can be worse than her actually fighting the divorce, meaning getting an attorney and engaging in the process. Because if he filed and served her, and this is what I explained in one sec, and she does nothing, she won't communicate, won't engage in discussions, won't talk about custody or support or selling the house, you're kind of at a stalemate at that point. And so I told him, you obviously, and this is what happens when people who file for divorce and maybe the other spouse isn't on the same page immediately, like most of our amicable clients are, is they've already decided, they've already had 6 months, a year, 5 years decide to get to this point that they're ready to pull the trigger and file for divorce. This spouse who doesn't want this, it wants everything in the opposite of that. They work on the marriage, get counseling, all the things in the opposite direction. So this, obviously they're at odds on this. And when this happens, it can really cause an issue. And my advice to this gentleman and to everyone in this scenario is give the other person the time that you have had to digest this and let them absorb the fact that this is likely going to happen, unless they have their way about it, which I'm not encouraging divorce, but if you get back together, great. But give them time, because to try and push the pedal down and move faster because you're ready and you want to get it done, that could turn what would ordinarily be an amicable divorce into a contested divorce, or just one that kind of gets nasty. And like I said, they had kids and they wanted to, they'd have to co-parent and be in each other's lives for foreseeable future. I think they were all both under 10. So that is my goal when I'm talking to people, is to tell them everything I can to keep them amicable. So my advice to him again was, pump the brakes a little bit, if you will, and give her time, try and bring it up. Definitely don't bring in a third party, even a neutral third party like myself, because that's just going to instigate things a little bit. Oh, now, people don't know the difference between me and an attorney, even though I'm a neutral third party and here to help. They may say, oh, who's this person involved? Why am I getting emails or messages from someone? It's not going to help things. I told him, and they said, what about mediation? But mediation's not going to work. No one's there. She's not even want to talk to you about it. So she's not going to agree to mediations or sit down. And if she does, she's going to sit down and cross your arms, if you can even get her to show up. So what I recommend you do is just wait. Don't hire me. Don't hire an attorney yet. Don't hire a mediator. Just get out a piece of paper, a notepad, and start and write down, since you guys can't communicate, she doesn't want to hear it. Write down what you're thinking, write down your terms, write down, custody, joint legal and physical. They're in amicable conditions. So no reason they need to have a crazy detailed parenting plan or fight over custody. Joint legal and physical custody. We can discuss alimony and child support, whatever that might be. We got to divide up our stuff. He said, I just want to divide everything down the middle. See, with that's a simple divorce, except for when one spouse doesn't want the divorce. So I said, just write it down on a piece of paper. You got to start the communication. Verbal communication is not working. Write it down, leave it, give it to her, hand it to her, let her, give her a week to read it, bring it up again. It's going to be a process. And, some people don't want to go through that. Some people are just like, screw it, I'm going to get an attorney and I want to deal with this. And that's another route you can go. Just know that can stir the pot.